Hey guys, my name is Cynthia and welcome to my channel, Graciously Growing. If this is your first time viewing this channel, it's about two things that I love, and that is growing plants and growing in the Word of God. So in today's video, I am so excited to take you along as I care for my plants. Now, generally, I water my plants every Friday, and this is a Friday. Now, keep in mind that some of my plants will not tolerate being watered on a weekly basis, like my succulents. So they are watered maybe once every 3 weeks or once a month. And then there are some plants that I have to water, especially in the warmer months, maybe twice a week. But the majority of my plants are watered on Fridays. So I'm going to take you along with me, and I'm going to warn you that this is going to be a pretty long video because I have a pretty big plant collection. I counted the amount of plants that I had maybe about 2 weeks ago, and at that time I had 96 plants. And since then I have purchased maybe 4 or 5 more plants. So I'm 100 plus in when it comes to plants, and I am just enjoying it. And so I hope that you enjoy this video. So I always start my watering, for whatever reason, in my office. And you know, I would put more plants in here, but I do actually have to work in this office, so I think it's at its capacity. But this is the plants that are located in my office area. And if you have watched my Calathea collection video, you would know that the majority of the plants located in here, minus the hanging plants up here, are Calatheas, because this is the only room that they are happy in, minus that minus a rattlesnake Calathea that I have, that nothing that I do seems to work with that particular plant. But the rest of my Calatheas are very happy here in my office. I have really been loving this Begonia, and I really am not, well, I used to not be a Begonia lover, but this is, let's see, right now in my collection, I have this one. I think I have 3. Yeah, I have 3 Begonias, and I am, warming up to Begonias, and this one is such a rapid grower, because when I purchased this, it was half the size, and it is just taken off. This is a Begonia pink spot, and here you can tell why. See the pink spots? on its leaves, and it has been blooming and blooming. Most of the blooms have fallen off, but here is some of the blooms that are still there. But it's been blooming, I would say, for the last month or so. And so yeah, this is becoming one of my favorite plants. I'm wondering if I need to stake this. I might have to look up whether you should stake begonias like this, because you see how it's hanging over. So yeah, I'm gonna look at that and possibly give it a little bit more support. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this begonia. So as I was telling you earlier, I am just so pleased that I have been able to keep this Pepperonia happy and healthy. And I don't remember when I purchased this Pepperonia, but it was, I think, maybe a week after I started my channel. And it's been maybe a month and maybe 2 weeks since I started my channel. So I think I've had this probably at least 30 days. And believe me when I say that this is something to say that this plant is still healthy, happy, not losing any leaves. And like I said, I've learned that it's all about not over watering peperonias, because they are, I don't know if they're classified as succulents. I need to look that up, but I know that you should treat them like a succulent because they do not like a lot of water. And so she is just healthy and happy. And yeah, she is just growing and growing. And she hangs out here in my office windowsill. And I can't show you one Pepperonia without showing the other that's just right by her. And this is another beauty that I've purchased, and she is doing well as, she's doing good as well. And I love the variegation on her leaves. I think she's just a very beautiful Pepperonia, and she hasn't missed a beat either. And I usually water these Pepperonias every week, the ones in this room. But like I said, I have one in my kitchen windowsill. I have one in my dining room area in my main plant wall collection. And then I have a Pepperonia, I believe I have a Pepperonia in my living room windowsill as well. And those Pepperonias I don't water as often as the two in this room, because like if you watch any of my videos, and especially if you watched my Calathea video, you know that this room, my office, is really, really warm. And so the plants in here need water more so than in other areas of my home. But yeah, she is doing great, and look at those beautiful leaves. I did not realize that this Aglaonema needs to be repotted. Look at this. Look at the roots. So I am going to definitely have to I probably am going to repot her probably if not today, I will repot her tomorrow, because I have a syngonium that also needs to be repot because roots are growing out the bottom holes of the planter, not the planter, but the nursery pot. And then I have my coffee plant that I'll be showing you in a little bit that I feel like it may need to be repotted as well and relocated because it's getting too big for my kitchen windowsill. So I was about to water this fern, and then I did the finger test, and it's pretty, I may give it a little bit of water, but it's pretty moist. And so even though it's really warm in this room, this fern is able to maintain moisture somehow, more so than the other plants. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of water, but I'm definitely not going to give it a whole cup of water. This is my Calathea roast pica. And one thing I've learned that I haven't heard anyone mention is that you're not to get water on the leaves of this plant, because this is water spots. Because I was watering a hanging plant and the water dropped on these two leaves and it left these marks, water marks. So I now know that not to let water touch the leaves. And so I never knew that was a thing, but evidently it is. But other than that, she's doing well. As you can see, she has this new growth coming in, and she's really, I love the vibrant purple, I would say purple, violet, and black coloring of this particular Calathea. I did not water the how do you pronounce this? Arbifobia, Calathea arbifobia, because for whatever reason it's very moist. But I did want to show off my Calathea white fusion. Now, some people in my comments said that they agree that this is even one of the more problematic Calatheas. Calatheas, you know, by themselves can be difficult, but this one is really difficult. She's been doing well. Her bottom leaves have been yellowing and I've been cutting them off, but her new leaves that are coming in, like this one, are coming in really nice and big. You can see she's almost finished unfurling, and I love like the purple tinge of the back of her leaves. I just think it's so beautiful. But yeah, so far so good. I think she's doing okay. And so I'll keep you posted on if I'm able to keep this white fusion Calathea happy or not. If you notice when I water, I don't know if you can see it, but I water it until it starts dripping through the watering holes in the bottom of the nursery pot to make sure that they are getting a complete watering. So the last 3 plants that I will be watering in my office is my hanging plants. That is a ficus repin right there. That's my ivy. I do not have a drip pan for the ivy, so I take that ivy down and water it in my sink and just let it sit there until it finishes dripping. And that ivy is the one that dropped onto my Calathea and discolored its leaves. So that's another reason why I don't water in here anymore, that particular ivy. And then I think this is a lipstick plant. You guys let me know. I lost the little label that came with this plant, and this was one of the plants that I first purchased. So let me give you a good look, and you guys can tell me in the comment section what this plant is. I had it hanging in my living room area, and it was dropping leaves like crazy. I brought it in here. It has not dropped a leaf since, and it's slowly filling back out, and but I just don't remember what it is. So if you guys know, tell me in the comment section, what is this plant? So yeah, and it is, now I'm feeling it. It doesn't need water, and so I will not be watering this plant for this week. This ivy is always thirsty for water, and I can just tell by, you know, lifting her that she wants a good drink, and I will give her one off camera. And then my ficus repin, from feeling, yeah, she needs water as well. And I think this is a beautiful plant. I like how the white surrounds the green on each and every leaf. And she's slowly, you know, cascading down. And I got this, I don't know if you can see this. So this is why it's gonna take so long for this video, because I wanna share so much with you guys. This is a drip pan that I got from Amazon. Came 3 in a pack, and it's not the best fit, but it has these little clips that you put on, you hang, that you connect to the pot. It has 3, and it prevents the water from dripping, obviously, down on and messing up your floor or your carpet. And so this is what I have on most of my hanging plants. But for that ivy, it was too small to fit one. And so I'm gonna have to find a smaller one. But this plant definitely needs a good drink, because it's so very light. And so I usually give it 2 cups. And it's been quite happy, not dropping any leaves. And so, yeah. Next, I will be going in my kitchen and dining room area, where I think the majority of my plants live, if I had to think about it, because I have the least amount of plants upstairs, which I will be changing that. But most of my plants, I think, pretty much are either here in my office or in my kitchen / dining room area, where I have a whole plant wall. So the next area I am going to be watering is here in my kitchen, here in the windowsill, here on the end of my kitchen island, and then where I have my plant wall, which entails 2 small shelves on either side of this main shelf, as well as hanging plants in each corner. And then there are some other plants here that are located in this the small dining room windowsills. That's a Pothos Cebu Blue, and that's a Hoya up there. And then I also have some hanging plants here in this dining room window, is 2 Hoyas. And then here in the corner is a Pothos Pearl and Jade. And I really love how my dining room windowsill here is looking. And a bunch of pothos are hanging out here, as well as a philodendron basil and a Sansevieria plant. So yeah, this is the area that I am about to water next. Can we just appreciate the vibrant color of this begonia here? And look, she's bloomed. Isn't her blooms beautiful? And she has them all over. Here's another one. And she's been blooming like this for the last couple of weeks. Just like the other begonia that's in my office. And so yeah, I just think she is just so beautiful. It's almost like God took his paintbrush and just, you know, personally did each and every leaf. So yeah, this is my begonia, Begonia Rex. This Aglaonema Madonna doesn't need any water, but I just have to show off her beautiful foliage. I just love the contrast between her white pedestals and her vibrant green leaves, and the way that the leaves are kind of almost like zebra striped, and then they have these little tinges of various color hues of yellow in there. I just think she is absolutely a gorgeous plant. I am still enjoying this Florida beauty that I purchased a couple weeks ago. You know, I just am amazed how God's creation is just so beautiful. Look at the specks of white, and some of her leaves have specks of yellow, and she's just a really beautiful plant, and she is called a Florida beauty. This is my only surviving Pepperonia from my first go round of trying to keep them happy. I killed all the other ones, and she hung on until I figured out how to care, you know, for Pepperonias. As you saw in my office, the Pepperonias that I have just purchased some of them about 30 days ago, and some even further, are doing so good. And she's slowly but surely, you know, growing and filling back out. So hopefully in the next 6 months or so, I can get her to look like the rest of the Pepperonias that are in my collection. This is my, let me see if I can move the camera so you can see her a little better. This is my Raven ZZ. And I just love her dark leaves. When they first come out, they are this green, you know, normal green color, and then as she matures, as her leaves mature, they turn to this really dark black color, and they call her a Raven ZZ, which is different than the regular green variety, which I do have and will show you in a little bit. And generally I water her every 2 to 3 weeks, because I find that she, like Pepperonias and like Santaveras, aka snake plants, do not like to be watered weekly. So yeah, she's a beauty. I believe the proper name for this plant is a creeping inch vine, and it's definitely a vine because it is growing out of control. I got this from a friend, and it was really tiny. She gave it to me in water, so she was propagating it in water, and I let it stay in water for a couple weeks, and then I transferred it to soil. And I was really concerned about it, you know, having some type of shock from going from one type of medium to another, but she did well and didn't miss a beat, and she's just been growing and growing. So yeah, I really do enjoy this plant. see, this is why watering takes so long, because especially when I am doing a water with me video, because I just want to show off so many different plants. This is my ponytail palm, and she has been with me for, I think I've had her for at least a year, and she hasn't missed a beat. She is really beautiful, and she hangs out here on her throne on my second small plant shelf. So here is my regular ZZ. I showed you my Raven, and here is my regular ZZ, and she is just as beautiful, but she is just the normal green variety. I think I said this in another video that I just did, but if I didn't, I want the Chameleon ZZ. I will put a picture of her up on the screen, and then I think my collection of ZZs will be complete. She is a Chameleon ZZ. I haven't seen it in my area, but they are quite beautiful. But this is my normal green variety, and I believe she's gonna need some water. Let's check. This is my Philodendron Asonii, and she is, I can tell by how light her pot is that she also needs some water. So now I am about to water my windowsill here in my dining room. Also love showing off my neon pothos. It is just so vibrant in color, and it is growing very well. that will be all of the watering that I will share with you, because the philodendron cordyceps that's in this corner and the pothos pearl and jade that is in this corner, I showed you earlier at when I did a just a view of the entire area. They are on grow lights, and so I don't take them down because it's just too much trouble taking the grow light down, putting it back. So I just get on one of my chairs and check them, and I water them. Oh, but there is 2 other plants that I can check to see if they need watering before I water the hanging plants off camera, and that is, actually there's 3 that is my Hoyas that are, as you can see, are hanging right here. This Hoya here feels like it doesn't need any water. I get confused as to whether this is a Hoya Crimson Princess or a Hoya Queen. I just can't tell the difference. I know one of my subscribers tried to explain it to me, but I'm still not getting it. So if you have a good tip on figuring out which one you have, because that particular subscriber said that it was not what they told me it was, according to the label, was not right. And like I said, I definitely can't argue the fact, because I am not really sure what the difference is, because they look very similar. But regardless, she is doing well. And this is my Hoya Microphobia, and she's also doing well. Let's see if she needs any water. She, I think, can take a little drink. She doesn't need a lot, but I'm gonna give her a little bit of water. And yeah, my Hoyas are doing good. I'm pretty sure that everyone that's watching this video is aware of this, but I wasn't, so I just like to share a little bit that I do know. When I first got this Hoya, I was going to cut these vines off, and thank God I looked it up first, and it said no, because this is where the leaves actually grow. So this plant grows the vines, and then the leaves come in. And so if I had cut them, I would have in fact been cutting where the plant was going to be growing from. And so yeah, this is my Hoya Microphobia. And then the last plant that I need to check for watering, other than the hanging plants, the 2 hanging plants, is this Hoya. This is my Hoya Public Cow. Let me see if you can see her. And she hangs out in the, I have 3 little windows here. I showed you at the very beginning before I started watering this room, and she hangs out in one of those windows sills, and she definitely needs water. I don't have a big Hoya collection. I actually only have, well, I have one in my office, and that's a Hoya Public Cow as well. And it's on a trellis. I bought it on a trellis, so I can't take any credit for that. So that's number 1. And then I have the Hoya Crimson Queen or Hoya Princess right here, which is number 2. The Hoya Microphobia, 3. And then the Hoya Public Cow is 4. So I have 4 Hoyas in my collection. And I would love to get more, because they seem to be, to me, very easy to care for plants. So I'm going to place her back, and then I am going to water the 2 hanging plants, and then we're going to travel into my living room where I have some plants as well. Okay, so now we're in my living room area where I have just a few plants that I'm about to check to see if they need watering. I have 2 hanging plants in the window here and 2 on the window sill, and then my bird of paradise, my Florida green down there on a moss pole, if you want to see how I got that, and this painted lady here, if you want to know how I got these 2 on a moss pole. I have a video out about that. And then, oh, I missed my beauty here, my big lily here in the corner. And then I have my Aglaonema silver bay, which I just love. And then you guys, look at this beauty, this Aglaonema Madonna. Now let me tell you the story about her. Hopefully you can see her. Give you a good picture. She is pretty big. So this Aglaonema Madonna, I showed you in my Come Shopping With Me. I wanted to bring her home so bad because even though I have an Aglaonema Golden Madonna, can't talk again. Obviously, I don't have one of this size, and she was really, really pricey, and I had to leave her. So I went in today, as a matter of fact, and I just wanted to see if there was, if there was any type of discounts, because Home Depot, it looks as if they're getting ready for a winter shipment because they really have cut back the size of their indoor plant section. It has just cut in half since the last time I went in about a week and a half ago. And even outside in their outdoor section where they had all of the soil and all kind of other things that you would need, they had it a whole part of the parking lot blocked off with soil and big trees and shrubs. All of that now is gone, so I am assuming they're getting ready for their next season, plants and whatever to come in. And so when I went in, they had quite a few of these, but I saw this particular one and her pot was broken. And let me see, because she's pretty heavy, if I can turn her around and show you what I'm talking about. So, oh yeah, you can show you here. So let me lift this lid. So see right there, her pot is broken, and here's her price right here. Quite hefty. And so because the pot was broken, I asked one of the sales persons whether or not there would be any discount. And he said, well, it's up to each individual cashier, which I thought was interesting. So I went and got the first cashier that I saw, and I said, hey, there's a plant over there with a broken pot, and I understand it's up to each cashier. What would be the discount for this particular plant? And he said, well, let me see it. And so I brought the pot over to him, and he said, oh, yeah, that's, pretty bad. He said, oh, this will be 50% off. And I was like, I'll take it. Because first of all, I just turned it around facing my wall, and you can't even tell that the pot is damaged. And second of all, I was purchasing the plant, not the pot. And so I got this beauty for half off. And she is gorgeous. And if you remember my houseplant tour, I told you that I wanted to have 2 staple plants on either corner of this little sitting area, because I found these plant stands. And I'm not going to take her off of this plant stand because she's really heavy, but you can kind of see the plant stand, and it comes with a plastic little tray right there so that you don't have to worry about water getting on your carpet. And they were $9.99 at Ross. And so I have two on that side, one for the Painted Lady and one for the Aglaonema Silver Bay, and then I had this one. But I believe if I go back to my houseplant tour, they were empty. I don't think I had anything on the plant stands, but I was looking for the proper plants to put in this area that could tolerate not being directly in front of a window. And this Aglaonema Silver Bay has not missed a beat. And I'm hoping that this Golden Madonna will not either. But when wintertime comes, I will get a plant light. I think I'm going to position, I've seen plant lights on Amazon that can sit on a table, and it has the two arms that goes either way. And I think I'm gonna put one on the back of this table here, and so one arm will obviously be in the direction of this Golden Madonna, and the other one will be in the direction of this Aglaonema Silver Bay and this Painted Lady here. And I think when wintertime comes, that will give them enough light, because I am a little concerned about when we get the darker months that they may not be as happy as they are now. But see, this is why I knew this video was going to be long, because I love rambling on about my plants, and I really appreciate all of you who allow me to ramble and you enjoy it as well, because my family, they tolerate the plants, but I definitely can't sit down and have a discussion because they're just looking at me like we don't care. But if you're a plant lover like me, you know that just watering my plants and being able to share where they're at, how they're growing, and it's just wonderful to me, and it's really a way that I decompress, and this is a Friday, from the work week. But I think that's all of the rambling that I am going to do, and so I'm going to go ahead and water this area. According to how long this video already is, will determine whether or not I will show myself watering the other areas in my room, because I have not looked at the plants in my entryway, in my plant nook, nor in my master bedroom. But if this video is a little too long, I'll probably do those off camera. This is my philodendron mican. Ooh, she is very dry. I mean, I water her every week, but she's one of my plants that is always really dry. I'm thinking about changing her substrate to more of a medium that will keep her a little bit more moist. Although she seems to be happy, and drying out, it doesn't seem to have affected her. I still think I might look into seeing what other medium I can use. But yeah, she's getting really, oops, knocking over the fan, hitting the fan here. She's getting really long, and I'm gonna give her a good drink. Pepperonia that I told you that I have here in my dining room. She's newer too. And as you can see, she is happy and healthy as well. She's quite dry, so I'm gonna give her some water. This is my Begonia. I like how her leaves look like little arrows. She is dry as well. I have two Begoniums. I have this baby one and I have one upstairs. She's in need of a repot. Look at her roots. And so I just have to see if I have a pot. Pots are expensive and I just don't, I try my best not to purchase pots like from the stores. I try to go to thrift stores, or, you know, like I said in another video, go out in the back where I keep any pots that I have plants that I planted outside and see if anything would work, and spray paint them and do whatever I have to do. So I'm gonna find something that works for her, because I'd rather spend my budget for planting, for plant things on a plant like that Golden Madonna, which even though she was half off, definitely would mean that I will not be purchasing any other plants until I'm going on vacation to South Carolina. So I may purchase a plant or two there if I find something reasonable and it's of a size that I can bring back on the plane. But although she was half off, that's pretty much my budget for the month for plants. I do budget in getting maybe 1 to 2 plants a month until I'm at the max of plants that I want in my home. And you may be thinking, what is that? What's the max? Well, like I said, I have about 100 plants now, but if you came into my home, I don't believe it's overbearing at all, because I have them placed where you don't feel like you're in a jungle. But I do in my bedroom, I have a bare wall, a huge bare wall, and I want to put a plant wall there. And I was just looking on Pinterest and looking at other ideas of how to do the shelving. I think I'm going to do a combination of floating shelves, different lengths, you know, like I hope you can envision this, 2 shelves that are the same length at the top, and as it goes down, the shelves becomes smaller in length all the way down till they get to like can only have like 1 plant. And I want it coming down like in a V, if that makes sense. And then on either side, I want to put 2 hanging plants. And I think that's going to be really beautiful. And I think once I do that, I probably will be at the max of plants in my home until, you know, I have an empty room where maybe I can make a plant room. But until then, I think I'll be at my max. And if I had to guess, that plant wall, the way I'm envisioning it, it probably will be about maybe 8 to 10 plants on that plant wall in my room. And yeah, and you know, I do have, and I probably won't show it in this video because I've been rambling a lot in this video, but I do have a plant in my room, 2 plants in my room that are not doing so well. My palm is not doing well. My parlor palm, as some people call it, is not doing well at all, but it was on clearance when I got it, and it was obviously dying, and I have not been able to really get it to grow and to thrive, and so I may have to replace that plant. And then I have a, what is that? It is a sphagnum. It's a type of lily, and it was doing well, and all of a sudden it's just been going downhill. And I've looked at it, no pests. All the there's 2 plants by it that are just thriving and doing great. I think this weekend I am going to take it out of its pot, look at its roots, and see if I can figure out what in the world is going on with that. But that plant may not make it. But once I finish my plant wall, I think I'll either be replacing plants that are not doing so well, or, you know, giving away a plant to get another one. But I think that would be at my max. There is some room now that I'm looking at my 3 shelves. The bottom shelf has no plants at all on it, and then there's 2 empty shelves on the bottom of the 2 smaller plant racks. So yeah, I have a little bit more room. Oh, and you can't see it, I have a hanging plant, what do you call it? I don't even know what you call it, but it is a hook, a hanging plant hook. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I guess that's what it is. But there's no plant there. I used to have my philodendron there, and it was not happy because it wasn't getting any light, because it's kind of like in the corner. And so I have not replaced a plant. I haven't put a plant there yet because I haven't found a plant, a hanging plant, that can really take that low level of light. So what I probably have to do is get a grow light, and then I can put a plant there. So there are a few areas in my home that I could probably put a couple more plants. But if you're not a plant lover and you come over, you may say, wow, that's a lot of plants. But if you are a plant lover like me, you probably would just be enjoying the plants. And so it's all about perspective. But here again, this is my guilty pleasure. I just love plants. I love growing them. I love talking about them. And so yeah, I think I've rambled quite long enough, and I'm going to water this plant, and then we'll keep on going. I did tell you guys I would give you an update. I have a video out where like I said earlier, that I put this, never can remember the name of this. I think this is a Florida green. Yeah, yeah, it's a Florida green. It's a philodendron Florida green, where I put this plant in the Painted Lady on a moss pole, and I told you I would tell you how it was doing, because I was concerned about this particular one, because the way the arrow roots were growing, it seemed like they put 2 plants together, and then the one set of arrow roots were going to the right, one set of arrow roots were going to the left. And you know, when you put a plant on the moss pole, you want to get the aerial roots to grow into the moss pole here. And so I had to separate the 2 plants, and so that they could the arrow roots could be towards the back of the moss pole, and encourage them to grow into the moss pole. And I thought maybe that would be a lot of trauma to the plant, but I'm happy to say that this plant has been doing well. I also told you I would give you an update on how I keep this moss pole wet. And what I do is like this. I hope you can see this. I just take a cup of water and I slowly pour it, because if you pour it too fast, all of the water comes out of the little holes here in the moss pole, and then it doesn't moisten the moss. So I just slowly add water. And eventually the moss is nice and moist. If you don't keep the moss inside the moss pole nice and moist, then obviously the area roots of the plant will not grow into the moss poles like it should. And I have found that I have to do this every week because the moss is, it gets dry quite quickly. And so I'm gonna put this down and finish doing that. But I want to show you, because I told you I would, of how I keep the moss poles moist. I I am now in my entryway as you walk in my front door, and I just have 3 plants that are located here. My 2 Dracenias on either side of this entry table, and this is a ZZ plant that is located on the top. And so these 2 Dracenias I usually water. They kind of remind me of the same watering schedule as my ZZs, my Pepperonias, my ponytail palm, and I'm missing another, and my Sanavera, aka snake plants. So I don't water these often, so I'm going to check right now and see if they need water. Okay guys, that is the end of today's video. I chose not to record me watering the plants that are located on my upper level because this video would be even longer than it already is. But I did enjoy taking you along as I cared for my plants that are located on my lower level. I hope you also enjoyed this video, and if you did, please thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, be blessed.